We're back at Filter headquarters this week with another interview for The Deep End, and we have two special guests in the building this week. The interview that everyone's been waiting for, J Emz Spenny from Onefour. How you guys doing?
I'm going good, how you doing?
Excellent, man. What's going on? There's so much happening with Onefour right now, but I think it's only right to go back to 2019, which I think is, when Onefour really started picking up momentum in Australia and overseas. The first ever interview that we did for Filter, it was also the first interview for Onefour, so that was on the set of Shanks and Shivs. And I kind of want to start there and talk about, that track, because I think that was the one that kind of put you on a national radar, so to speak. So with that track, that was the first track with YP. He came in, did the hook, and he killed it. So whose decision was it to bring YP into the fold, and what do you think he brought to that track?
Yeah, P's been rapping for a while. So that's my little brother, so actually I was in jail at the time when I found that he was spitting bars and that. So I used to hear little things here and there, like through the phone, and I used to tell him, keep going and keep pushing when I come home, we'll start this rapping thing. So he ripped that hook, I ripped my verse while I was in jail, and we decided to come out. When I came out, we decided to make that track. So big ups to him, man. He's a natural, He's good at everything. He's a ladies' man, that kid.
Obviously, besides being a member of Onefour, J Emz, he's like you said, your little brother. So what was your relationship like growing up with YP? Were you guys competitive or like?
No, we were never competitive. We were very close. We just fucked around a lot as little kids, He get a bit annoying every now and then, but we're never competitive. I'm just proud of him,
And how often do you guys speak to him now, when he's inside?
I speak to him every day, every day. He's doing good. He's kicking back with the boys. Yeah, they got the boys out there together. Around
that same time as Shanks and Shivs, that's when you guys kind of started to build a team around you, I first heard of Onefour through, How and Ricky, and at that same time, they started to be more involved with the project. So how do you think having a team and having that sort of structure around you really helped you at that time in your career?
So just having them around, and when we linked up with them, we found a bit of guidance with them around, So we're always going into the studio. When we first went into Sony, it was a big thing for us. So, we just tried our best to go in there and impress the people around us, and that was Hal and Rick. And they just gave us a lot of confidence in our music that someone was actually looking out, because it was at a point where we were doing it for a little bit, but there just wasn't big exposure for people like us, in the rap game. And now there's a lot of rappers, just like us. So.
Yeah, there's a scene for everyone to flourish on, eh?
Shout out to Hal and shout out to Rick.
Yeah, big love.
And they manage some other artists like, Rebecca Hatch and Hoodsy as well. So if you guys don't know Rebecca Hatch and Hoodsy, definitely get on that ASAP.
Shout out.
Word.
And after Shanks and Shivs came, I think in many ways it was the big one. It was, my favorite track from last year, The Message. Not only in Australia, but that's when you guys really started to pick up traction overseas, And I think a really part important of that story is UK reactors, Some people talk shit on reactors saying, it's cheap content or this and that. But, there's no denying that, Chazza, Lee, Dan and Kaz, they all played a massive role in you guys getting exposure in the UK. So what was your first reaction when, you started seeing UK guys embracing your music so wholeheartedly?
For me, I was up one night just watching it, just seeing people from another country listening to your music and actually getting interested with it, them doing their researches and that, and not knowing other words that we're talking about. So it was inspiring just seeing that from another country.
And I think it was massively important as well that not only were these guys reacting to your music, but they were also really interested in wow, I didn't know, places in Australia look like this. I thought it was just fucking outback. Oh, I thought everyone in Australia looked like a home and away character. That's people's perception of Australia. And when they see, brown boys or coloured boys, they didn't even know they exist. So I think it was really important that, that Onefour was on that stage kind of showing that.
Yeah. We're glad we got to do that for our country and that, and show people that it's not all like that here in Australia. But
and there's an actual culture here,
True.
There's actually things that's happening here as well. It's not all just kangaroos jumping around and that. we were getting backlash bad too when we first came out in the UK. People in the comments and that saying kangaroo jumpers and
snakes
that.
And spiders and shit.
But everyone knows now we're taking it a bit more seriously now, But back then we were a laugh, but we're not a meme no more,
Yeah. I always try whenever I go overseas to explain to people, you know, there's places in Sydney you can drive for half an hour, you won't see one white person, you know.
Yeah.
You go to an Asian area, you know, it's all Vietnamese restaurants, Chinese restaurants. You won't see no white people for half an hour, man. They just don't understand that. So I think it's super important, you know, for representation, you know, for people to see that.
They don't know how multicultural it is out here, you know. There's races everywhere. Like, it's not just one race in one, you know. You see different people everywhere. So I'm glad people are finally getting to see that now.
Yeah, and I think what's really great as well was Dan and Kaz's reaction. You know, J Emz, your verse, just rewinding, trying to figure out what a ganger was. That's some of the crazy, you know, like Australian slang or West Sydney slang that people pick up on. So what are some other words you think that, you know, the people overseas, they should know the meaning to, or that they might be wondering, having heard in your songs?
I don't know, I think we've used like nearly every word.
Yeah, they're all starting to catch on, you know, when they're watching our reactions and that, they start speaking slang and that, so yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, everyone's starting to say eats like this and all that.
I think it's the way you dress as well. I think that's also another aspect.
But when I used to go out to, I don't know, like near the city and that, I always used to see people in jeans and that, walking around in jeans and that, and I was the only one in like tracksuit TNs, like, you know, walking around the city. And now, like, these times I go around there and like I'm probably like the only one in jeans, you know, like, and everyone else is in tracksuits and that, you know.
Reversed.
Yeah, reversed. And JD Sports is everywhere, like everything you see at JD Sports, those are the things that we'll buy and will be the cool ones, you know. But now it's just everywhere. Like, the culture's shifted a lot too.
So you're switching it up because it got too popular? You're starting to wear jeans now?
Yeah, just trying to, like, I don't know, bro. I woke up this morning. Woke up this morning and just, yeah.
And I think the amazing thing about the message as well was that how much it was getting played by DJs at clubs, you know. These clubs that normally only play American music, a couple of years ago when Skepta and stuff started popping off, they moved into UK music, but you would never ever hear a DJ play an Australian song, unless it was by Minor Crooks. Minor Crooks or B-Wise, maybe a few other guys from their clique, but Australian music was ignored by DJs, you know, just because it wouldn't get the same reaction from people who want to go clubbing, you know. And then last year, the amount of times I heard the message was crazy.
Yeah, 100.
And I remember, you know, the first time I heard it out, I texted Lekks the footage, and he was like, "Oh man, did you request that from the DJ, man? Did you ask him to play it?" And I'm like, no, bro, he played it himself. You know, it was DJ Atro, so shout out to him as well. But
yeah, love.
You know, getting your stuff played as an Australian artist in a club, that's also a really big accomplishment.
No, yeah, we also spin out how they play our music, and especially the genre, like the type of music it is. You know, you wouldn't think they'd play it out there like that. But yeah, it's crazy now the feedback we get from everyone. You know, so shout out to all those DJs putting their names on the line to play our music. Fuck yeah, we also hear that they get backlash and that, you know, just because of our name and that, but we won't get into that.
The first bar from Lekks, you know, that shit is iconic, you know, they call me Chingy. Explain to us, you know, what Lekks does, you know, outside of the music. What does he bring to, you know, Onefour and the vibes and just the general energy?
No, I'll give you a hint, he's actually Chingy. No, he's like, he's a lot older than us boys. He's a bit older than us boys, but yeah, what he brought to the team is like his knowledge and his experience. You know, before we started doing music, he was doing music already. Him and Celly, and like while we were out there running amok and that, and when we decided to come to the studio, he's the one that like taught us how to move in there, and you know, like he helped us find our sound as well, you know, and move towards this drill thing. But yeah, shout out to Lekks.
It's pretty much him and Celly as well. Shout out to my brother Celly as well, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they started, and Lekks just brings a lot to the group. And without him, before he got locked up, he was the one doing like editing our video clips and that. So like he brought a lot into the group, you know. Especially, I don't know, he was good with computers as well. Like he would be the one recording my singles back in the day too, like helping me out. So yeah, free Lekks.
You just mentioned Celly there and notable bars. Free me. That was also huge when it came out. People in the comment section like, did he just say free me? That's crazy.
I think we like doing things different, you know, like just with Celly saying free me, like no one ever does that, you know. It sounds dumb sometimes, like yeah, we just had no care in the world with what people said about us, you know. If we were gonna say something, we'll say it, you know. And that's why I feel like a lot of people like us, because of the things we say. We don't really care, you know.
And in our interview with Husky, he spoke about Celly for a little bit because he was inside with Celly. But from you guys, you know, being members of Onefour, similar thing to Lekks, you know, what do you think he brought to the project, you know, besides being, you know, one of the original founding members?
He's just energy. We were just all together. We used to sit in garage and that rap sometimes, you know. It was just a group full of rappers and it was just another head into the idea of becoming a rapper, you know.
That's it. No, his passion for music as well was big too. So, like, he always had a drive. Sometimes we get put off music, or sometimes we take too long to drop something. But this guy was always on his own bus. Yeah. This is either we did a song with him, or he just goes do his own thing, you know.
Like he was just always wanted to go, you know.
We speak to Celly now too, and he's dying to get on the track. You know, we're trying to figure out ways how we could like record over the jail phone and that. So, yeah, rap's not dead, you know.
Over the phone, straight record from the phone.
We'll sort out something for him, you know. Just wait on it, everyone, please.
Celly track coming soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
And a couple of weeks after the message dropped, I remember me and Hal were talking around that time, and you know, I happen to have a couple of friends who were bringing out Dave from the UK, and he was doing an Australian tour, you know, and that was the same time that Dave, you know, he recorded himself in the car, you know, listening to the message, being like, Onefour official, this shit is crazy, you know, yada, yada, yada. So, you know, we were speaking to the promoters of Dave being like, hey, you should be on these Onefour boys, you know, like Dave actually fucks with him. It might be cool if they play the show. And obviously, after weeks and weeks of emailing, it was locked in. And then I think that was the first time that we got a taste of, you know, how intense the police pressure around Onefour would be. You know, so given that you guys had a few cases and a few brushes with the law, were you guys always expecting this to happen with your live shows, or were you kind of surprised by that?
No, not really. I didn't really think of it like that. I seen the UK drill and that it was happening there, you know, but like over here it was there. The idea was there, but I never knew it was gonna happen until it actually happened. You know?
At the same time, like we just like as you said, with our run-ins with the law and that, it was just pretty much another barricade, you know, in front of us. We just knew we had to find a way to get around it. That's it, you know. So, yeah, we've always like, you know, been in situations like that. So yeah, we're the type of people that just push through it and, you know, see how we go. But yeah, shit go will happen, but it is what it is.
The same thing happened to your headline tour, and I remember it was like the media attention around it was crazy. The police attention was just so intense. I remember I had police and journalists calling me about you guys, like being like, who's Onefour's lawyer? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, how would I know? You know what I mean?
I think it was intense, like on your end, like you wouldn't understand what was happening. You wouldn't understand what was happening at home, man. You know, it was crazy. But yeah, that's something else I don't want to get into too. Yeah, next subject, please.
Another episode. Yeah. So what's the live situation now? Have you guys got any updates on that, or what's happening with that?
No, this virus is just slowing everything down, so we were just taking step by step.
Yeah, we're still being patient in
that.
But
with the virus being around too, like we've been through stages where we have to get around stuff, you know, so and get over it.
Maybe it's a good thing we weren't allowed to do shows, because now everyone can feel what we've been through, you know.
Yeah,
so everyone think about that once.
And then after the message was Spot the Difference, which is, I believe, your most played track on YouTube, so obviously the people love it. And as well, you guys won an FBI Smack Award for that, so congrats on that. Yeah. J Emz, in your speech when you got up there, you said something along the lines of being from Mount Druitt, you know, this stuff doesn't normally happen to us. Yeah. So can you expand a bit on what you meant by that? You know, like growing up in Mount Druitt, what was the expectations of you?
Like, I guess, like being from Mounty and that, like there was like no artists we got to look up to coming up from music, like from where we're from, you know. So just being able to go to those events and that is a big thing for us, you know. There's like all those music functions and that, and just the award altogether. Like you'd know yourself, and we're there like those type of people, like, you know, we're just like, fuck, this is not our thing, but we know we're here for a good reason and we're proud of ourselves. But yeah, no, it was a good accomplishment being able to receive that. Big shout out to FBI, you know, thanks for everything. But yeah, no, yeah, that's just how we felt at the time. We appreciate everything, but
like you said, it's kind of like a massive change for artists, you know, especially artists that get big on YouTube, to kind of learn how to maneuver at award shows at events, in boardrooms, at Spotify, at Apple Music, all these big, tall office buildings. You know, you walk in there, you have to sign your name in and all this stuff. So, and especially you guys have had to do it in a very short time, you know, from 2018 to 2019, that change was so intense. So how have you guys learned to kind of, you know, move differently around those crowds?
I get iffy with crowds and that. Like, I don't really like moving around in crowds and that, but like, you know, it was like a big thing when we see things like that, you know, big buildings and going in to meet corporate people. Like, we never used to do it, you know, like, so yeah, it was a big change in our life, but slowly it was like, I don't know, it felt like it wasn't happening, but it was happening, you know, so.
For myself, I feel like I just had to make it a priority, that's it. Yeah, because a lot of other shit we feel like we need to get done, but we just had to put our foot down and, you know, tell ourselves music is the way to go. We've got to be at these meetings, you know, if we want to make it further where we're trying to go, then we have to go, you know. Can't just stay in the hood and fuck around, you know.
And the other thing that, you know, was very prominent in Spot the Difference was the Mounty Bop. You know, something that you guys have very much helped popularize. It's gone big on TikTok and all that. So coming from you guys, what are the essential elements to a good Mounty Bop?
I don't know, bro.
I don't dance. That's
mine's like a flick of the wrist. You know, you just gotta flick it. But yeah, I see a few Mounty Bops in that on TikTok. I'm not impressed by it, but yeah, probably best Mounty Bop YP.
I'm not the man to speak to, bro. It's just him, Spenny and YP. That's their dance.
YP, bro.
Are they the best ones, Spenny and YP, the best Mounty Boppers?
Nah, YP.
YP?
Yeah, he made it, so.
So even if YP is the king of Mounty Bops, Spenny, I heard from a few people that you're the king of benders.
Nah, bro. Yeah, nah, that's a lie, bro. I'm going sober by 2020.
But even if people did call you the king of benders, man, I heard there's a few other rappers been trying to challenge you here and there.
Nah, bro, I ain't getting it. I think they're just using it as an excuse to party with me.
Oh, really? Yeah, Nookie and the 111 boys.
Yeah. Nookie's something else. I'll leave him to the side. That's not bad, but shout out to Nookie.
Shout out to Nooks, man.
Yeah, that's awesome that you guys went down and played that Nara show for Nookie's hometown as well. That was crazy.
100%.
No, we enjoyed that. It was good, you know, being able to get out there and perform for them. Oh, yeah, that was a night to remember. Yeah,
it was a weird thing as well, like coming from big crowds to that small crowd, you know, and we knew we were there for a reason as well. So yeah, it was a crazy experience there. Just seeing the whole side of the state, you know, like being in Nara, like
and seeing like how far music travels and you know how it affects other people out there. So it's good, you know.
And after Spot the Difference came Lads in the Hood. I think it was the first video that you guys did that, you know, had a bit of a narrative to it, you know what I mean? Was that a conscious move by you guys because so many acts by that point, you know, were doing that same aesthetic, you know, big crowds with, you know, balaclavas, flares and stuff like that? You know, something which you guys helped popularize. Yeah. Did you guys intentionally move away from that because so many people were doing it?
Yeah, that was pretty much it, eh? We just felt like we were at a point where we need to be a bit different now. There's a lot of crews being the same, so we like changing things up. So we don't like being like put in the same position, like the same category as our groups, you know. So we always try and not be simple with things. That's why we changed it up.
Mm. So after Lads in the Hood came in the beginning, you know, and when I listened to that track, it's pretty much you guys in the hook. You're stating, you know, this is the impact that we made on Australian music, you know. Now everyone wants to do it. So when you guys look at the influence that you had, you know, do you guys see it as positive or do you guys see any negatives to it? Because on the positive side, you know, you've influenced so many people to start rapping and so many people to start making music. But I guess on the negative side, like you were kind of hinting on that song, you know, a lot of people are trying to capitalize and copy kind of like what you guys are doing.
I feel like the negative side for me is that like they're rapping about, some people rap about things that like, they think it's cool to rap about, you know, like we rapped about these things because sometimes we're going through it. And it feels like if you're capitalizing on a life that you never lived, then why do it? Because it's not something that you choose, it's something that we grew up on. So yeah, that's kind of the negative side that people like tend to forget when they start doing that type of music.
But then there's a huge positive
side as well.
Like we're glad, you know, everyone has this platform to make music on, and we're not selfish or nothing, you know, like
we can't be mad about it either because without them there wouldn't be a scene, you know. Like, there's a strong scene here now that a lot of other groups are coming up too. So, you know, we're happy for that. You know, we're happy that we made that impact.
So speaking about opening doors for artists, I think, you know, some of the younger, you know, drill groups coming from the area like Section 60, you know, you guys were in the No Way clip recently. Who are some of the other youngins that you think from your area that we should be kind of aware of, or that you guys really like?
Shout out to Fez, he's also on the Hell as well.
Yeah.
It's one of the guys.
Section 60, well, I think there's a lot of rappers coming up, but just not established yet, you know. So, but with anyone in the area that's trying to do the music, we'll be there, you know. We'll be there to help out as much as we can, because we like giving off our knowledge. So, but yeah, there's not really an established group yet, but it's probably Section 60.
Yeah, shout out. You might not have heard them, the 66 boys. Yeah, they're doing things.
66
so
boys
shout
as
out to them too.
A big moment for the In the Beginning video was, you know, what everyone was talking about, the YP face reveal. So who decided that? Did you guys sit down with Jane Collective and kind of talk about that, or who brought the ideas to the table?
I think P wanted to take it off, and it was just up to us to say that okay, because like all the boys would be in his head, you know, and we were like, yeah, if you want to do it, it's time, you know. Yeah. But that was his decision, and he did it. You know, we'll never stop in that. But it was like the iconic one in the beginning.
Yeah, his time was coming too, so you know.
The next track was Welcome to Prison. And I think that was another iconic video moment, you know, the scene at the end where you were walking out and, you know, YP was walking in. How did it feel filming that? Because I think it's quite, you know, no one can really pinpoint that feeling, because, you know, YP filming, you know, himself going into prison, knowing that he had a case and that he was most likely going in, you know, a couple of months later.
No, yeah, I remember planning to record that song, and at the same time planning to shoot the clip as well, you know. So us boys, like mainly me and P, we from start to finish, we like kind of planned out how we wanted the clip to go, and you know, we pretty much just summed up our experiences and put it together. So that's exactly what happened, you know. I come out the year before, and then he was going in then, and we knew like, you know, that's some real shit. So yeah. We decided to shoot it.
It was definitely a move away from the sound that you guys built, you know, your career on, and I think it was mad. Was that a conscious decision again, to move away kind of from the drill stuff because you'd done it and so many people were starting to do it?
With music, for us, it's always been like it's always. I feel like it was always going to happen. We knew like we weren't just going to stay drill artists and that.
100%, because you got to move on from that because of all the backlash sometimes, you know. But not only that, we started seeing that we can actually have a future in music, you know. So to become a musician, you actually got to go out and try different things. So there's no limit to what we do, you know. We're going to try anything and everything, you know, and that's pretty much why we like this. And
you're gonna hear some crazy music too coming out.
100%.
Yeah, a lot of new shit. We won't get into it. We won't get deep into it, but. Yeah, you'll love it.
More melodic or like?
Yeah, everything, man. Bit of everything.
Man.
Yeah, we got big plans. They got fucking ruined by this fucking virus. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, but we got big plans, you know. So yeah, hopefully all goes well after everything blows over.
And that obviously brings us to the track that just came out, collaboration with ASAP Ferg. Huge. You guys have done a few international collaborations here and there, like, you know, your Burner from the UK, but I think, you know, this is by far the biggest one. So how did that come about? Like, because that's pretty crazy just to get Ferg to land in Sydney and just drive to Mount Druitt, you know? It's pretty much unheard of.
Oh, well, we had a meeting earlier during the day, and, you know, we were planning out what tracks and that we were going to bring out next. And, you know, at the end of the meeting, our manager, Ricky, was like, oh, Ferg said he wants to jump on this, or something like that. And we're like, oh, why didn't you tell us that before, you know? And
not just, I think he just wanted to link up.
Yeah, he wanted to link up. And it was
but yeah, we stayed like some time away from, you know, Mounty's like, you know, away from the city and that. So yeah, he just wanted to link up. And then like, we're just pushing all our weight, just throwing everything we had on our hands to go see him, you know. And we were in a rush. I think we were in a rush.
Yeah, we were in a big rush.
Our window wasn't very big, so we shot down there. And yeah, we just wanted to meet him, that's it. And then we were stoked that, thanks to Hell Hell plugged us. Yeah, he speared him through us, yeah, we'll just rap. We were waiting there at the studio, and his security and that came up and checked the surroundings and that, made sure everything was all clear. And then yeah, he come up, and then we just showing him some of our tracks and having a chat and that.
Yeah, his manager told me that he was only going to be out for 10 minutes, it's only a photo. And then Ferg come through and he sat down, and it looked like he wanted to hear some music, so he was talking to us, was showing some music, and he was showing us some beats as well, and I was kind of getting like the hint that, he was, and then bang, he wanted to jump on it and said, let's do the video clip tomorrow. And J Emz was like, done.
It seemed like everything happened just
it's real quick.
So quick.
He was telling us, let's do a track. We'll shoot it tomorrow before I fly on Saturday. And I made sure, I was like, done. I made sure he shook on it, And he's like, yeah, sweet, we'll get it done. And then he goes, oh, in order for me to jump on the track, everyone needs to leave the room. So I just got up. I was like, everyone get the fuck out right now. And everyone got up and they got out. So we rapped about that. Us boys in the hallway, just fucking, we're just like, can't believe this is happening right now. So yeah.
Just seeing him in his element as well, like
word.
The way he was recording just taught us a lot as well. Working with big artists like that. He just sat in there 30 minutes and we come back upstairs and we can hear lyrics going. And
word.
Yeah, just...
Big ups to Ferg for doing that.
Shout out to Ferg, man.
That's what people need to remember. He didn't have to do this.
He didn't even have to come out to Mounty and that too.
100%, and he did it,
Most rappers probably complain about getting from the airport to the city, but go to the city to Mounty.
Right, it's a workhorse, man.
So we just recapped, a massive year for Onefour. But I was going to ask you guys, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, how do you want people to remember, Onefour?
I don't know, successful, big successful.
Yeah, some successful kids that came from Mount Druitt, man. That's it.
I don't want them to only remember like this part. I want them to remember in 5 years' time, me still, still big and successful. Like that's the end goal.
Yeah, mainly the good we done, Yeah.
I won't be gone in 5 years, 10 times.
Well, he doesn't want to stop rapping.
20 years, 50 years, yeah.
He's going to be that annoying old man rapping, Nah.
And finally, what's on the cards for Onefour for the rest of 2020 and into 2021?
Nah, same thing, just music. We got big plans on the album. I wasn't going to spill the beans today, but I reckon it'll be something for everyone to look forward to. And it's like we come different every time,
Thanks, boys. Appreciate your time.
Love, bro.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thanks, man.